Hello, and welcome to the show. Tonight we're going to be doing Uriah Heep. Very heavy, very humble. Did you get that? I hope you did. Because doing this English accent is just not me. That's right. We're going to be doing Uriah Heep tonight or today, or this morning, whatever, on Rocky Mountain Rankings, of course. That's what you're watching right now. At least I hope you are. If you're not watching this, then you got a problem. Anyway, yes, Uriah Heep, 24 albums, and with this ranking, I'm not going to. I'm going to try not to linger too much on each album. Um, Usually, I go over the track list and stuff, but on my least favorite, I'm not going to go over it too much unless there's a standout track that I think that's worth mentioning. But other than that, we'll hopefully zip right through this. Otherwise, we're going to be here quite a while. I did a two-parter for Jethro Tull because Tull has quite a few albums in their discography, and I got a little flack for that, but it is what it is. So let's dive right into it. Well, before we do, please, please, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And like the video, leave a comment down below, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss an episode. This spring, I haven't been doing too much. I did 30 days, 30 bands, all live albums not too long ago. People haven't been watching those too much. I thought it'd be an interesting little thing to go over my live album collection, but apparently it wasn't. But anyway, if you're curious, that's there. Little thing to open up spring with, and that's what spring is. I believe myself, spring is about live albums, or not live albums, live concerts, which can hopefully be turned into live albums. So, but anyway, let's get into this, shall we? Now, this was tough, people, really tough. Uriah Heep, like I said, has got 24 studio albums. Trying to decide what my favorite one was, my least favorite, agony. Agony. Uh, they're all, as far as I'm concerned, they're all great. So, in this case, I start with my least favorite, but this could change later on. My least favorite could ultimately be my favorite, but right now, this is the way it's going to be. Starting it off, at least in 1985, it marked the return of Trevor Bolder. It was also the last with John Sinclair and Peter Golby. John Sinclair on keyboards, Peter Golby on vocals. Um, John Sinclair was lured away by Ozzy Osbourne to join his band. Peter Golby has said that he had to leave. I mean, he said it just kicked the heck out of him, especially in his vocal. When Peter Golby, he was a good. He wasn't my favorite vocalist with Uriah Heep, but he was a great vocalist, nonetheless. It was also their last album for quite a while. They didn't release another album till I believe 89. Was that? I think so. Let me go back here. Yeah, 89. They wouldn't release another album until 89 when Bernie Shaw uh, joined on vocals with Raging Silence. Of course, he joined, and they, I think, in a couple of years before that, and they did a tour of Russia. You know, not tour of Russia, but they were invited to Moscow, I believe, for a concert there, which is back then that was unheard of. A rock band going behind the Iron Curtain. That was really unheard of, and it showed the loosening of tensions between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. So, anyway, album we're gonna start it off with is my most recent acquisition by Uriah Heep. Now, I have all the albums except two. I thought I only had one left to get, but I got two left to get. I forgot about one, but I'll discuss that later. But anyway, the first one, number 24, yeah, Equator. Now, this is considered by a lot of people their worst album, but it's not bad. This is also the expanded version. It's got a couple or four uh, bonus tracks, but I've listened to it a couple times so far, and it's not that bad. I mean, what I put, I can see where people didn't get into it, but what's really weird is the uh, critics who often panned, gave Uriah Heep bad reviews on their albums, really like this one, and it's the production on this is really good compared to the previous two albums. Um, it's a really great production. It's just the songs, I believe, aren't really up to standard. Though it's got some good album or songs that were featured on there. Oh, let's see, I got it right here on this album, "Live in Moscow." And that's the one I was talking about when they went behind the art curtain. Um, they do Rockorama on here. Actually, is a bonus track, and I believe Heartache City, which was a bonus track on this one. So, but all in all, it's this is still a decent album, and like I said, it's great. Uh, Production was great on this one. So, but anyway, that's coming at 24. Could rise later on. So we will see. Maybe a couple of years I'll do another one of these. Reckon you're right. So anyway, let's move right on. Okay. Now, number 23. This was a weird one for me. And this one I don't have a physical copy. I do have this on digital. This one is really hard to get. Um, it was never released in North America. And this, as an import, it's very difficult. Um, it was it came in a period where Uriah Heep was really really bad turmoil. Uh, John Lawton left the band. Uh, Trevor Bolder, I believe, left. No, he was on this one. Okay, yeah. John Lawton left the band. John Sloman joined. Lee Kurzlek left the band. He bowed out. He went on to join Ozzy. Chris Slade. This is the only album that he appears on. Great drummer, Chris Slade. I believe, if I remember right, Chris Slade played for Elvis, played drums for Elvis in his band. So, Um, there's also the last one, Ken Hensley. Uh, Sadly, Ken Hensley is one of my favorite keyboard players, and sadly, he left. He'd never be on another album with him, though he would uh, join him on stage from time to time, which I think is great. Um, but all in all, Conquest is not a bad album. I've listened to it quite a few times, and it's kind of starting to grow on me. But right now, it's not one I don't really reach for it too much. Of course, it was with fans. It was voted the worst album at the time then before Equator. Um, though it did receive some positive reviews, but all in all, it's got a few good points. Feelings is really good. Um, no return, imagination, but you know, other than that, it just came as a real turmoil of a time for the band, so which is too bad. And so yeah, that's Conquest number 23. Moving right along. Now these next two albums, I don't have copies of. I was going to get them, but I want $40, and I really don't. I really don't want to pay $40 right at the moment. Um, Equator, I was going to get that a couple years ago, but again, they wanted a lot of money at the time. It ultimately came down in price, so I'm hoping these two will. But anyway, released June 14th, or June, excuse me, June 2014 on Frontier Records. It was Outsider. Now, I've listened to this a few times past couple days, and it's really got a good hard sound. Um, Starts out with Speed of Sound. That's a really good standout track. Rock Foundation is a good one. Right now, it's not really interesting me, that interesting for me to have it higher. Though once I listen to it more, it might rise up. Uh, who's on this? Of course, Mick Box, Bill Lanzon, Bernie Shaw, Russ Gilbrook, and Dave Rimmer. I believe this is the first one of Dave Rimmer on bass after Trevor Boulder passed away, which is too bad. Trevor Boulder is a great bass player, great musician all around, great guy. So anyway, that's my number 22. That comes number 22. Number 21 will be the one right before it, Into the Wild. This one I'm putting it ahead of Outsider because I listened to it a little bit more, and I like this a little bit more. Like I said, this is the last one with Trevor Boulder. He also does a lead vocal on Lost, which I think is fantastic. A fantastic track. Hit Nail on the Head, great track. Trail of Diamonds, just to name a few. This one will, like Outsider, will probably rise in my, discography, in my ranking later on. But right now, with it relatively still, well, how would I put it, murky, I'm put it at 21. So, but just because it's down here doesn't mean it sucked. It just means I don't fully appreciate it more. I guess that's how I'd put it. So anyway, uh, so yeah, number 21, Into the Wild. Now this one is, oh, well, let me put it this way. When I bought it, I just didn't know what to make of it. But as I've listened to it more and more over the years, especially lately, it has kind of risen up. If I was done this, had was to do had done this a couple of years ago, this probably would have been very last, dead last. But it's not. And luckily from this point on, I have all physical copies. So I'm going to show you. So anyway, released in 1976 on Bronze Records, High and Mighty. Very interesting cover. Not one of my favorites, but I guess it does work. Last album with David Byron on vocals and John Wetton on bass. John Wetton, this would be the second one with John Wetton. He'd do vocals, I believe, on the opening track. Let's see. Yeah, him and Ken Hensley shared vocal duties on the single, well, not single, but the opening track, One Way or Another, which that song just bugs the heck out of me. I mean, it just one way or another, it's okay, but the vocals. When I first heard it, I thought it was David Byron singing, and I thought he was having some kind of fit. But it's Wetton on vocals like and Ken. So I don't know. Misty Eyes, I love. That's a great song. One of the highlights of this album, along with Confession. Love Confession. Footprints in the Snow is good. But, another time in the band's life when they were in turmoil with their lineup, it's too bad David Byron left. I mean, he was a great singer. Unfortunately, his drinking just took over, and he would die in '85, which was really sad. So anyway, that's number 20, High and Mighty. Alrighty, number 19. Now this record, well, this album is I'd say precursor to the first traumatic period of Uriah Heep, which ultimately culminated in High and Mighty. Of course, I'm talking about Return to Fantasy, released June 13th, 1975. First one with John Wetton on bass, and who'd replaced Gary Thane, who sadly would die in early '75. Excuse me. Good album. I remember when I first got this, I'd heard Return to Fantasy, but another one of those albums that had to grow on me. The title sounds great. Shady Lady's kind of fun. Prima Donna's same. Good solid album. A lot harder than the previous album, though not as hard as ones that came before or would come, were to come. So, but still, definitely need to hear this one if you haven't. So that's number 19. Turn to fantasy. Okay, number 18. Another outing. Well, this one would be the last one to Garrett with their bassist Gary Thane, which is he was a fantastic bassist. Um, Unfortunately, he had a drug problem, and it steadily got worse. Um, and it's really strange. How these guys they join bands, and it's like they have a problem when they join. It's really not that bad, but it just sadly it's worse. Of course, we as fans, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know the pressure. We get this idea in our head that they're living the high life. There should be no pressure. What's to be pressure? They're playing music. They're living their dream. You don't know. Um, and that's one of the reasons why I don't care for documentary movies like Bohemian Rhapsody and such. It just shows too much dirty laundry and kind of breaks your messes up your perception of the band that you really want to keep. You want to believe these guys. You want to have fun. You don't want to be bought down by their dirty laundry. So, but anyway, released June '74. Talking about Wonderworld. Again, this is a great album, though not as hard as uh, Return to Fantasy or what came before. A lot softer, especially on Wonderworld. Uh, Suicidal Man is really hard. Shadow in the Wind's good. So Tired. Um, Dreams. But, all in all, decent rock album. One I've reached a little bit more than these other ones. But, that cover, I don't know. That cover just bunks the heck in my head. It was like they got attacked by the Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't know. So anyway, that's number 18, Wonderworld. Okay, number 17. Uh, now I'm probably gonna get some flack the way I rank these, but this is, like I said, this is the way I like them. And again, ranking this discography was really tough. Uriah Heep is one of my all-time favorite bands, and they, all in all, to me they don't have a really bad album. There's one that just doesn't resonate as much as others. So anyway, coming at number 17, released September 1978. Last one with John Lawton on vocals, Fallen Angel. Um, Here's the band on the back. In fact, I guess it should be shown more, but a lot of these don't have too much in the way of photos and stuff. I'm sure if they were remasters, they would, but these aren't. This one, I'm really enjoying more and more. Uh, though with this one, they've moved away from our progressive rock roots into more of a pop area. But it's still, to me, it's still got progressive rock all over it. The title track, you know, what another Ken Hensley classic. Woman of the Night's great. Uh, Come Back to Me, I love that one. But like I said, all in all, it's great. And that's the last one with John Lawton. He was before he was fired in '79. It was too bad. John Lawton was a great uh, vocalist, and he sadly passed away. Let's see, yeah, year before last, or no, last year. I'm sorry, last June, he passed away, which is too bad. Though Bernie, uh, Bernie Shaw, I think not too long ago, he had some health problems, and John Cameron stepped up and did the vocals so they continue the tour. So yeah, that's too bad. But yeah, this last one where they started going their second traumatic period. John Lott was on vocals, Mick Box, Ken Hensley, Trevor Bolder, and Lee Kurzlick. Uh, all in all, it's not the best, but it's still, classic period, with John Lawton. So definitely check it out. Fallen Angel at number 17. Now, I'm probably going to get skewered for this one because I know a lot of people who love or revere this album as one of Uriah Heep's best. And just because I'm putting it here at number 16 doesn't mean I hate it. I don't hate any of these albums. Just remember that. I don't hate these albums. It's just I don't reach for it as much. So, anyway, I'm at number 16, released September 7th, or 1971. Talking about Look at Yourself. It was the last album that released their founding member and bassist Paul Newton. Yeah, of course, you gotta realize that early period of Uriah Heep, especially their beginnings, they had a bunch of different drummers, a bunch of different bassists. Uh, and Paul Newton, he did good. I like Paul's bass playing on these albums. Uh, First three, I mean, not the greatest, but it's he did a good job. Um, it's also been characterized as heavy metal and progressive rock. Hard rock. I wouldn't say it's heavy metal. It's definitely hard rock. Progressive rock, yes, but let's see, who was it? Mick Box, David Byron, Ken Hensley, Paul Newton, Ian Clark on drums. I believe this is the only one with Ian Clark on the drums. Let's see. Doesn't say. So anyway, the title track, mainstay in their live performances. July Morning, another fantastic track. Tears in My Eyes, Shadow Grief, just well done. Though I don't know what it is. I just don't reach for it as much. And that can change. When I first got this, I listened the heck out of it, but as of late, it's kind of moved down. But doesn't mean I hate it. And I don't think there's any pictures in this one. So these, nope. If these have been remastered, they probably would. Yeah. I think the mirror portion on here came on the LP where you could actually see yourself. I might be wrong on that. So, but anyway, that's number 16. Moving on, number 15. Okay, number 15. First one with Peter Golby on vocals. First one without Ken Hensley on keyboards, which was sad. Ken on keyboards and guitar and vocals, he some, and I'm one of them, could say that Ken Hensley was Uriah Heep. Um, do I, of course, I don't hate any of the albums again. So uh, it's just too bad that he couldn't have continued, but things change, people change. So anyway, this one I could see Ken would not have fit on this. He's too much of a progressive rock, classic rock era, man. About Abominode. A lot of people love this album. It's got more of a poppier sound. When I first heard this, well, I'll tell you this. I heard some of the songs on their a compilation album called The Collection. They had two: Scared to Run, On the Rebound, Hot Persuasion, and Think It Over, I think. I didn't know what to make of them. I'm like, this is Uriah Heep. I mean, it's just totally different from what came before and what was to come after. But as of late, I've been listening to this more and more, and it's really got some great songs. Again, like I said, poppy, but still solid, hard driving rock. If it's got any pictures in it. Oh, yeah, it does. There's the band. Lee Kerslick returns on drums. Bob Daisley on bass. John Sinclair on keyboards. Of course, like I said, Peter Golby on vocals. When I first heard Peter Golby, I didn't know what to make of his voice. It's kind of like a cross between John Lawton and David Byron. Just a deeper throatery. I can't say it. Vocals. He doesn't hit the high range too much, and I think that's why he said his time on Uriah Heep just kicked the heck out of him. Trying to hit the high notes on some of the other songs. But all in all, this is a good, decent album. It's not, it's grown on me, and it could move up later on. But right now, it's stuck at number 15. So definitely check it out. Okay, coming at number 14. This is one of their more recent albums. Also, the first one without Lee Kerslick since Conquest. He had to bow out because of ill health, and which at this point, it was the longest period that the band was stable, 21 years. And oddly enough, this was the 21st album by Uriah Heep. Released June 2nd, 2008. Wait the Sleeper. Great album. I believe, let's see. I think this is the last one with Trevor Bolder. No, that was okay. That was okay. Never mind. That was one of the other ones. All in all, it's good driving hard rock. Wait the Sleeper, great opener. Goes an Overload. Tears of the World, great. Light of a Thousand Stars. Trevor Bolder does vocals on Angel Will Walk With You. I believe that's Trevor. Let's see. Good grief. Am I here? Have the band listing here. Interesting. But another album that, with more and more listenings, is going to move up in my ranking. But right now, not reached for it too much, but it's still a great album. Definitely check it out. That's Wait to Sleeper at number 14. Okay. Brings us at number 13. This is the most recent album, released September 2018 on Frontier Records. It's their second album with bassist Davey Rimmer, Living the Dream. Hard, I wouldn't say this is their hardest album, but it's really coming close. Grazed by Heaven, Living the Dream, Take Away My Soul. The more I listen to this album, the more I like it. It's just good, hard driving rock. Russell Gilbrook, not putting down Lee Kerslick, but Russell Gilbrook, he's just a beast on all these later albums. I mean, he just knocks them out of the park on drummer wise. And Mick, he's the only original member left. He's a beast too. I mean, he just keeps going and going and going. And from the interviews I've seen him on, he's just loving life. And I think he's to the point in his life that he said, I'm going to love life as much as possible because I know I'm getting older, and one day I'm not going to be here. But so will he retire? I don't see it happening unless ill health hits him. But right now he's still going. I mean, all these guys. I don't know about Russell or Davey, but Phil, Mick, and Bernie, they're getting up there in age, but they're still rocking. So anyway, definitely check this out. The most recent, Living the Dream. It's fantastic. So anyway, let's move on to number 12. Okay, number 12, we're going back to the other end of the spectrum. Released November 1972. One of the songs based loosely on a short story written by Ken Hensley, talking about Magician's Birthday. Album that's revered by a lot of people, though not as much as what's to come, but still fantastic. I don't know if there's any pictures in this one. I should have showed pictures of the other one, but anyway. Oh yeah, there they are. Probably what's considered the classic lineup of Uriah Heep, though it was really short-lived. David Byron, Mick Box, Gary Thane, Ken Hensley, Lee Kerslick. This one, more poppy, more, I think they're trying to be more upbeat on this one because the previous one was a little bit darker. So Sunrise, fantastic, great concert opener. I think that's what they opened with on their live album. Spider Woman, great. Blind Eye, Echoes in the Dark, Rain, love it. One of my favorite all time Uriah Heep songs. Sweet Lorraine's okay. Tales, hauntingly great. Magician's Birthday, 10 excess of 10 minutes. All in all, solid album from a classic period. So, also I believe This Roger Dean did 2 album covers. One's the Demons and Wizards, and then this one. Roger Dean, what a great artist. I mean, I don't think I've seen a bad album cover done by him. I mean, he just knows how to bring the theme of the album out. Whether it be with Yes, Uriah Heep, or whoever else. But he just does it. So anyway, definitely check if you've never heard any of these albums, check them out, especially the older ones like this one. It's worth a listen to. So anyway, let's move on. Okay, this one I just got recently. When I first heard it, I didn't really like it this much, but as of late, it's really moved up. Second one, Bernie Shaw on vocals. Trevor Boulder produced the album. Talk about different world. I mean, it's just, the more I listen to this, the more it grows on me. Blood on Stone, Which Way Will the Wind Blow, All God's Children, Different World. I mean, just this one comes with bonus tracks: Stand Back, Power of Addiction, Holy Roller, different versions of Blood on Stone and Cross the Line. Just Uriah Heep, most current version of Uriah Heep is at their best. There's the band. A lot younger looking than they are now. Bernie Shaw, I mean, he was a godsend to Uriah Heep, along with Phil Lanzon. Phil Lanzon, one of the best keyboardists around. Is he better than Ken Hensley? I would say him and Ken Hensley. Of course, Ken Hensley we lost, I believe, last year, but they were both neck and neck. I mean, they're classic keyboard players. I mean, but Phil, I mean, he's a godsend along with Bernie. Got the band going again in the mid '80s, so. But definitely check this out. Different World. Like I said, when I first heard it, I didn't know what to make of it, but now it's just rising up. It's growing on me more and more. So anyway, moving right along here. Okay. Coming at number 10. First album with John Lawton on vocals and Trevor Bowler on bass. And Trevor Bowler would be with him very long time until his death in 2013. Just barring a break. I think he was with. Excuse me. He wasn't with him for 18 months before he returned. Released February 1977. Talking about Firefly. This just John Lawton at his best. I mean, and a return of Uriah Heep to their best here. The Hanging Tree. Love it. It's haunting. Oh, awesome. Especially the just hard driving rock. It's best. Wise Men. Fantastic. Title tracks, fantastic. Do you know? All these songs are just great. Are they their best? No, but for this time period, with John Lawton, joining them, I mean, it was just great. So, And oddly enough, I didn't know about this album for quite a long time. And then I came across it at the music store, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know it existed. Of course, this is back before YouTube Music and YouTube in general. So, I've discovered a lot of music by Uriah Heep and other bands that I didn't know existed. So, anyway, check that one out. Firefly at number 10. Okay. Number 9. Second album with John Lawton and Trevor Bolder. This one, more of a, I would say, more of a country rock flavor, but it doesn't diminish it. They took their music into a different direction a little bit to break things up. Released November 7th or November 1977. Innocent Victim. And those eyes right there and that snake, those belong to Lee Kerslick. His eyes were, Lee Kerslick were used for the snake on the cover art. So weird. Like I said, this is got more of a country flavor. Let's see what we got here as far as pictures. Look at those sideburns on Trevor. That was all the rage back in the day. Big old sideburns. But yeah, John Lawton, he was just fantastic singers. I said, you take him and David Byron, and you would get Peter Golby. From the melding of the two. Of course, John voice and Peter voice, they're really, really close to being the same. And I say, Peter was a cross between John and David. Well, if you'd have to listen to his voice and listen to theirs to know what I'm talking about. So, but anyway, Keep on Riding, great. Flying High, Roller, Free Me, love it. Dance, great. You got some bonus tracks on here: Illusion, Masquerade, full version of Illusion, which I love. The song Illusion, regular song Illusion is great, but this, combination of Illusion and Masquerade's just fantastic. I'm glad they put it on here. So anyway, that's number 8, Innocent Victim. Now number 7 here, when I saw it at the record store, it really got me excited, and I was not disappointed by this album. I haven't listened to as much lately, though. What's neat about doing these ranking the album shows is you get to revisit all these albums that you've kind of lost touch with. You go back and say, God, you remember the first time you listened to it. I mean, it just brings back memories. So number 7. First one with Bernie Shaw and Phil Lanzon, Raging Silence. There's the guys on the back. This album is just, of course, let's see, when was it released? May 1989. Yeah, okay. Uh, Starts out, just slugs you right in the face with blood red roses. I mean, I think I scared the heck out of my mom with a couple times with this, with that song. I mean, boom, there it is. Uh, Fantastic song. Uh, Voice on My TV is fun little, uh, not my favorite, but still great, fun little song. Rich Kids, fantastic. Cry Freedom, love it. Bad Bad Man, More Fool You, When the War is Over, Lifeline, not my favorite. That's a cover song. Rough Justice. So we got a couple of bonus tracks on here. Hold Your Head Up, cover, and Look at Yourself live. All in all, just fantastic hard driving rock. Um, I think this is the hardest album since uh, up to this point. The hardest album since probably oh oh God, that's a tough one. I mean, I think this is the hardest album ever up to this point. I mean, everything else before this was more progressive hard rock, but this one is just hard driving rock. Progressive, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it was progressive. I wouldn't put it in that category. It was just fun, hard driving rock. So anyway, definitely check this out. It's fantastic. And like I said, listen to this stuff again, especially this album and what's to come, was just fun. Putting it in my stereo in my truck every morning and listen to it on the way and same way out, on the way home or going to get lunch. It's been fun. So anyway, check it out. It's number 7, Raging Silence. Okay, going back to almost the beginning here. Coming number 6, released January 12th, 1971. Talking about Salisbury. Not the original album cover. This is the U.S. album cover. The original album studio cover was Tank. Coming through red haze. This one, I guess, is some sort of plant man or plant monster. I don't know what the heck. I've always tried to figure out what the heck that is. But anyway, let's see. Keith Baker was on drums on this one. Then he left the band. Only 6 tracks, but the title track's really long. Probably I think the longest Uriah Heep album or song they ever did at 16 minutes 22 seconds. Starts out with High Priestess, fantastic song. Goes into Haunting Park. Time to Live, great. Lady in Black, Ken Hensley on vocals, fantastic. Simon the Bullet Freak, okay, kind of bizarre. Salisbury. Probably the reason this album's not higher is it's okay. I've just never got that album or that song. So and here I am. It's a progressive song, but I don't know. So anyway, that's number 6, Salisbury. Definitely, classic Uriah Heep at their best. So definitely check it out. Yeah, now to very heavy, very humble. Back to the first album. Released June 13, 1970 on Vertical Records. Uriah Heep, very heavy, Very humble. That's 1970. Yeah. That's again. This is the American cover. The British cover had David Byron, covered with cobwebs and his mouth going, you know, kind of a eerie cover. uh, Friend of mine, Rick Shield. Rick, if you're listening to this, he gave me this album, and I believe Salisbury and a couple others. I didn't know what to make of this band when I first heard it. This is like the late '70s when I heard this. But it grew on me. I mean, that's when you take a kid who is into Kiss and ELO and stuff like that, or Black Sabbath, and you give them this, it's kind of a shock, and it was. Uh, but I remember listening to it. I'm like, God, what is this? What kind of music is this? I mean, it didn't fit into my world at the time, but it grew on me, and to this day I just love this. Gypsy, Haunting, Walking in Your Shadow. Uh, Not one of their best songs, but I really love that song. It's really great. Come Away, Melinda. There's two versions I've heard. This one and one by UFO off one of their earlier albums. I think off their either first or second album before uh, Michael Schenker joined them. But this one I love a little bit more than the UFO one. Bird of Prey, great. Dream Mare, love it. Real Turned On, Keep on Trying, and ends with Wake Up, Set Your Sights. What's to come? This is Uriah Heep breaking in. From my understanding, Ken Hensley had just barely joined the band when they went to the recording studio for this. Was he on the? Let's see, David Byron, Ken Hensley, Mick Box, Paul Newton, Alex Napier on drums, and Nigel Olson on drums, and Keith. Oh, they had 3 drummers. Also, Colin Wood on keyboards on Come Away, Melinda, and Wake Up, Set Your Sights. So Ken joined them during the recording of this because Colin Wood was the original keyboardist. So, and then 3, let's see, Alex Napier, drums except for Dream Mare and Bird of Prey. Now, see, the thing is, I believe on the original version, yeah, Bird of Prey did not appear on this album. On the American, the U.S. release, Bird of Prey appears, but Lucy Blues, which I've never heard, appears on the original version. So, anyway, I love this album. I mean, but what's to come is just a little bit better than. So anyway, definitely check it out. It's number 5, very heavy, very humble, or just Uriah Heep, and I love that cover. That is the creepiest cover I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, moving right along. Okay, number 4. Yeah. This album, let's see. You know what? I missed one. Number 9. I skipped over number 9. Yeah. Shame on me. How did I do that? Anyway, let's go back to number 9. Number 9. Head first. Second album with Peter Golby and John Sinclair, and last one with Bob Daisley on bass. Let's see. How did I do that? Because it's the only vinyl I got, other than their greatest hits. So, yeah, released 1983. This one, I listened the heck out of this album. I mean, Other Side of Midnight, Sweet Talk, great. Side 2, I love even more. Roll Overture, which goes right into Red Lights. Oh, love it. You get this classical keyboard stuff going and boom, just hits it. Rolling the Rock, Haunting. Oh, wait. Starts out mellow and just moves in, fantastic keyboards and stuff. And then boom, hard driving rock, and then mellows out again. Straight Through the Heart, great. Weekend Warriors, not a big fan, but still, all in all, fantastic Peter Golby album. And look at that price, $3.99. Don't see that anymore, unless it's in the recycle bin. So anyway, okay, now we can move up to number 4 here. Sorry about that. Where I get ahead of myself. Okay, number 4. Released September 1973. Classic, one of their classic albums. From the classic period of the band, classic lineup of Byron, Hensley, Box, Kerslake, and Thane. We're talking about Sweet Freedom. It's too bad they didn't wait and do their live album until after this. I mean, do this live would have been great. Some of these songs, Dreamer, Stealin', love it, love that live. One Day is great. Sweet Freedom, oh, if I had the time, my favorite off this whole album. 7 Stars, Circus, Pilgrim. It's got the bonus track, Sunshine. I mean, just if I had the time, I just love that song. Oh, but definitely check this out. I mean, there's the band on the cover. Don't like bands on cover too much, but here it works. So definitely check it out. That's Sweet Freedom, number 4. Okay. Now I know I'm probably gonna get some flack for this one, but this album probably would have been my number 1. But today, my number 1, number 2, I listened to, the last couple of days, I've been listening to them, and I just beat this one out just by a hair. Released May 19th, 1972. I'm talking about Demons and Wizards. I'm sure there's people going, Davies, how can you put this at number 3? It's got to be number 1. Well, right now it's number 3. And I'll tell you in a while. But this, chock full of classics. The Wizard, one of my all-time favorite Uriah Heep songs. Traveler in Time, Easy Living, Post Justice, Circle of Hands, Rainbow Demon, another one of my favorite all-time favorites. All My Life, and then Paradise the Spell. I seen, in fact, speaking of Paradise the Spell, seen a live video of Uriah Heep, and they had Ken Hensley on guitar, John Lawton, and Bernie Shaw doing vocals. It was fantastic. They had Bernie and John going back and forth doing, John would be, I think, like the devil, and Bernie would be like the good guy, something like that. So anyway, if you ever get a chance, check that out. But this, Uriah Heep, class, not their best. And of course, gotta say something about Roger Dean's artwork. I mean, love it. Just love it. So yeah, Demons and Wizards. If you've never heard Demons and Wizards, you've got to. It's just total classic, early '70s rock and roll. Definitely check it out. So now we're in the top two. Hey, released April 1995. I believe this is the first one with, let's see, the last one, Trevor Boulder. Maybe not. But anyway, talking about now this one and my number one. If you're a Uriah Heep fan, you know what they are. You just know which position. I had a tough time as usual with which one was going to be my number one, which was going to be my number two. But my number one edged this one out just by hair. Number two, Sea of Light. Listen to this today, and it just came close to edging it out. Going to number one, but number one I just love it just a little bit more. Starts out with against the odds. Fantastic. Sweet Sugar. Not probably one of the songs that I'm not a big fan of. Probably kind of held it back from my number one for being number one. Time of Revelation. Love that song. I remember when I first got this Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone that's come out, and for some reason, Time of Revelation and Harry Potter just was going together because the way that movie ended with upbeat, and this song is upbeat. I don't know. It just kind of blended together, and I thought, God, it'd be kind of cool if they had a big party at the end of the show and had all the kids flying around on boomsticks to this song. But anyway, goes into Mistress all times, fantastic. Universal Wheels, Fear of Falling, Spirit of Freedom. Notice if Uriah Heep's got quite a few songs with the term freedom in it. And freedom is wonderful. Logical Progression, Haunting, fantastic. Love and Silence, Words in the Distance, Fires of Hell, and Dream On. It's solid, fantastic. And again, I believe this is Roger Dean. Yep, Roger Dean. He returns. Roger returns. Perfect. Perfect album for Roger to have his classic artwork on. So now we're on to number one, and my number one is their 20th studio album. And let's see, opening track, is dedicated to David Byron and Gary Thane. Talking about Sonic Origami. This album, I mean, it's just, at least this, see, released in 19, or when was this released? Yeah, September 1998. I remember when I got this, I listened the heck out of this album. I mean, it just, from start to finish, there's not a weak song on this thing. That's why it edged See Your Light and The Wizard out. Because there's just, I think the day before yesterday, but I heard this again for a long time, and just I'm like, why haven't I listened to this lately? Just, and this is what I was talking about earlier. This whole thing being fun, going back and listening to these albums, and just going back in time when I first heard them, and I don't know if you can tell by see how well worn that is, the back and front. If it's got any, I don't think there's any pictures in this. Oh, yeah, there's Mick, Lee, Trevor, Phil, and of course Bernie. I think, yeah, this is the final album with Lee on it, which is too bad. Lee is a great drummer. Of course, failing health, and forced his departure from the band in 2007. But he does a good job on this. He pours his. Excuse me, there's a hair on my microphone here that keeps waving in front of my face. Still there. My heck. It starts out with Between Two Worlds. Like I said, that's dedicated to David Byron and Gary Thane. Fantastic opener. Haunting, but just full of life. I hear voices. Love it the way it flows in from between two worlds into I hear voices. Perfect Little Heart, upbeat. This whole album is upbeat, full of life. Heartless Land. It sounds a downer, but it just says we gotta get things. Keep our things going good. Have positive thoughts. Only the young. In the moment, question, change, shelter from the rain, everything in life, across the miles. I'm not one for ballads too much, but that across the miles, oh, just love it. Feels like, and then the Golden Palace. Oh, the Golden Palace. I just love it. It's just awesome. 13 songs. I think they got a. I think they had a bonus song on here. Yes, maybe they. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, they do. They don't rank. They don't put it on here, but it's "Sweet Pretender" on the U.S. and European versions. But yeah, from start to finish, fantastic rock. Mick Box, Lee Kerslake, Trevor Boulder, Phil Lanzon, Bernie Shaw. If you've never heard this album, you definitely got to hear it. It's not the best album cover. I think they could have done better, but another maybe something from Roger Dean, but doesn't diminish the what's inside. So anyway, there it is. Do a little recap on here. My number 1, Sonic Origami. Number 2, Sea of Light. 3, Demons and Wizards. 4, Sweet Freedom. Sweet, sweet freedom. Sweet Uriah Heep. Salisbury. Raging Silence. Innocent Victim. Number 8. Number 9, my big screw up. Head First. God, I still can't believe I did that. But it happens. Nice blooper that's included. Number 10, Firefly. 11, Different World. 12, Magician's Birthday. 13, Living the Dream. And they're still living the dream today. 14, Wake the Sleeper. 15, Bominogue. Evil picture. 16, Look at Yourself. 17, Fallen Angel. 19, 18, Wonder World. 19, Return to Fantasy. 20, High and Mighty. 21, Into the Wild, which I don't have. 22, Outsider, which I don't have. 23, Conquest, which I have on digital only, sadly. And number 24, Equator. As again, this could move up. All in all, fantastic group. I mean, sure, they've never been a big, how would I put it, like Metallica or Megadeth or Pink Floyd, but they've been there. They've been steadily putting out great music. It's just why people didn't appreciate this music more is beyond me. Excuse me. Oh, gotta have a drink here. And it's water. No booze. Maybe the odd beer once in a while, but my boozing days, that's for the young. So anyway, hope you loved it. I really enjoyed going back and listening to all these albums again, refreshing my memory on them. Going to be definitely listening to more of this stuff to come in the next few days. I got a CD player in my truck, but for some reason the CD's skipping it. It's not the best player, so I put everything on a flash drive and listen off my flash drive, which is a lot better. Holds a lot more. It's only a single CD player, so I'd have to sit there and chain it out. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see y'all next Monday, if not sooner. I'm trying to think of something to do starting the first of next month. I've got this idea of putting the names of different bands into a bowl and picking one out and then picking a number from another bowl from designate the number, one of their albums, and discussing, see what album it is and discussing that album. So, well, we'll see what happens. But anyway, spring's here, warm weather. No, Sunday is crappy. It's supposed to be crappy. I'm recording this on Saturday night, by the way. You'll see this Monday morning. So I'm hoping Sunday is not crappy. So, but we'll see. So anyway, have a good one, and we'll see you all later.